Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Camilita podcast. This is where you learn to live like a champion. On today's episode, I've got a gentleman that I am super excited to introduce to you. Josh York, from his parents' dining room to an international brand, Gym Guys. He's the founder and CEO, and it literally is an American dream. 12 years ago, Josh was sitting in his parents' dining room and hammering out an idea called Gym Guys, a mobile in-house fitness training provider. I love it. Serving over 700 cities in the US, Canada, and now the UK. Josh believes sleep is the enemy and subscribes to 4.5 hours a night. At 4 a.m., working out. He's up, followed by his sauna and a 29-degree ice bath. Ooh. Wasn't going to be denied his dream. It has been an incredible journey. He's delivered some amazing things to other entrepreneurs, giving people the chance to serve others, as well as to serve the business industry. He has rubbed shoulders with the likes of Gary Vaynerchuk, Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, Trent Shelton, and so many others. And today, he is going to talk about his passion for helping you to truly understand the power of what goes on in your body and your mind. Welcome today to the Camilita podcast, Mr. Josh York.
First of all, I love your energy. You could be my hype. You could be like my hype. You could be my hype woman whenever you want, because you know what? I do a lot of podcasts, and you so far brought the most energy out of any of them. So I appreciate that. Thank you for having me. And also, just so you know, Gym Guys, our color is red. You're also rocking red, so that means a lot to me as well. So you are like on the top of my list right now.
Well, Josh, I love the concept, because it's not just the fact that you're giving people a business that they could run themselves, people who would not have otherwise had not just the money, but the sort of connections and all of that to grow a business. You're giving people a business in a box, in a sense. Why was this so important to you to get started in the first place?
Yeah, so, look, for me, I've always been into fitness. I've always loved helping people. The problem is, being a trainer is just not scalable. You can't make money when you're sleeping. And for me, I always used to ask myself, how am I going to be able to make money when I'm sleeping? So, I always figure things out no matter what. Every no is always going to get me closer to a yes. And, you really do have to follow your passion. You need to love what you do. You need to really love it. And, one day one of my clients came and laid and said, Josh, I wish you can come to my house. I just don't have any equipment. And that kind of stuck with me. And I was like, man, this is like the most simplest idea. No one has ever professionalized this service. No one's ever franchised it. I'm going to do it. And here we are today. We are the largest personal training company in the world.
This is so powerful. Just from an idea, you could build anything from an idea. You could build anything from a dream. You could build anything from a thought. However, for a lot of people that have thoughts and ideas, the difference is action. And that's what the difference between winners and losers. The losers think about it, the winners do it. What are some of the things that you did at the beginning to make this a success?
Well, look, I always say you need to be patient with results. And you need to be impatient with action. And the money makers are the action takers. And at the end of the day, the fortune will always favor the bold. Okay. Yeah. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you will fail. If you have a plan B, you will fail. If you quit, you will fail. There's really a very simple rule to success. And I'm going to give it to you right now.
Yes.
And I kind of tie it into like the game of Pac-Man. You ever play Pac-Man? Like when you eat all those little balls? Well, yes. You know how when you're like eating those balls and all of a sudden they send in all those other creatures to try to get you? Those other creatures, well, they serve lots of purposes. And we're going to relate this to business. They're the naysayers. You can't do this. You're never going to do it. You're going to fail. What are you, crazy? Yeah. Come on, let's be realistic. Those are the people. It's all the challenges that come your way. They're throwing at you in that game of Pac-Man. Every hurdle you're going to have to jump over. Every pothole. Actually, forget a pothole. Let's talk sinkholes. Let's talk 150, 250 sinkholes. Like literally, you're going to fall so deep that it's going to almost feel like it's impossible to get back up. But it's a test. Success is a game. It's a game. So if you're very good at Pac-Man, you get around all those little people and you end up winning and you beat the level, right? Same rules apply am this. There's no difference.
Mm.
All these things come to you to test to see if you're actually able to handle it. And success truly does leave clues, but you have to develop your mindset. You have to be able to have that positive mindset. You have to have great energy. You got to honestly you got to be rocking like that every single day, because as I like to say, this too shall pass, and everything always passes. Problems pass, challenges passes. But, you know, really, you need to almost, it's sick to say, but it's the truth. And I actually love it, but you need to enjoy suffering, because you're going to suffer a lot. There's a lot of suffering involved. And that's why I tell everyone to be working out every day. Do hard things. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. When you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, it allows you to become comfortable. But at the end of the day, I'm the toughest person in the world. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. If you can find someone who you think's tougher, please introduce them to me, because mentally, no one can touch me. And when
let's talk about that. Let's talk about enjoy suffering. Let's talk about enjoy suffering. I am very real. And when I speak to clients, I speak online, I'm sharing all the things that people don't want to hear. I am sharing what it takes to win, to be a success. All the mess that you go through, and the times when you had no food, and the times when things were bad, and the times when everybody thought things were okay and you were dying inside, the times when you felt to quit every single day because it wasn't working out. And even when you started making money and stuff happened, you still feel like, what the heck, why is this coming against me? And some people don't want to talk about that. This the glamour of social media, the glamour of life. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me here. Nobody wants to talk about the mess. You talking about enjoy suffering. When you say enjoy suffering, what do you mean?
Listen, being in business is extremely painful. People listen, if you think you're going to develop a six-pack over a night or over a week or over 2 weeks, it's not going to happen. There's a lot that's involved in that. I like to relate everything to working out, because when people go to work out, okay, you know you're going to suffer. You know you're going to experience pain, and people do it. As soon as anyone experiences pain or suffering in real life, they fold like cheap chairs. They quit, and it's because they're weak. The majority of people are weak. You need to get stronger. You need to get more mentally tough. So what I'm saying is, by suffering, people are going to quit on you. People are gonna turn their backs on you. You're gonna get stabbed in the back. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna make mistakes. Pandemics are gonna happen. You're gonna have cash flow issues. Next thing you know, you might be going out of business. You think you're going out of business, but if you're a real warrior, you'll believe in yourself and you'll never go out of business. Look, I had more negatives in my bank accounts than sunny days in the Caribbean. I can tell you.
And I'm from the Caribbean, darling, so I know that.
First of all, I love the Caribbean islands. That's why I always like to give that analogy. But you guys need to understand something, okay? Everyone focus. It's so hard now with social media, because everyone focuses on so many people, and you think like these people. First of all, 99% of stuff on social media is fake.
Lord, okay? Say it again. Say it again.
If you think, there's people that literally live on there all day and they have time to respond and like every post. And if you see people doing that, trust me, they're not successful. People who are actually successful and are busy don't have time to be doing that all day. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't follow someone on social media, but what you should do, which is the hardest thing for people to do, is focus. Pick one or two people that you really like and focus and stay focused on them, and that's it. You can't be all over the place. If you start getting scattered, you're going to crumble. It's very simple. So suffering.
Why then? And that's the part of people don't like with suffering, the focus bit, because then it really brings to light who you are, all your shortcomings, all your misgivings. When you're focused on one thing, then you have no choice but to focus on the right, the wrong, the good, the bad, the ugly about you, because you need to change in order to make it happen. Why is focus so difficult for so many people? Tell me.
Because people think that you're going to be able to get there on motivation. Motivation will only last so long. You have to be disciplined. To be disciplined takes focus. You have to be focused every day. Okay. I am a sniper's best friend, because a sniper would be able to take me out every day, because I make the exact same step at the exact second every single day. I'm up every day at 3. It's actually 3:39 now. I actually changed. It used to be 3:44. Now it's 3:39. And why is it 3:39? Because 3:40, 3:45, that's a normal time people would probably wake up at. I don't like to do anything that's normal, because normal doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now, look, every day is going to be challenging, but the most important thing is not how you handle yourself on the good days. It's the days you don't want to do it. Did you think I wanted to wake up today and work out at 3:44 in the morning? Did you really think I wanted to do that? No, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I have young kids at home. They're up all night. I come home late. I work like an animal. My mind is mentally drained when I come home. But you have to have consistency. You got to be focused, and you got to be disciplined, because when you get to the end and you're winning, and you're winning in life, and you have success, and you're able to do things that you've never done before, all those times when you woke up early in the morning and you didn't want to do it and you did it, that's why you're standing up there. You're on some stage receiving some award, and you're giving some speech. All those difficult moments when you didn't have money in the bank, when you didn't know what you were going to do, when you walked in on a Monday morning and you were having a great day and someone just quit right there on the spot and walked out, when you got screwed and someone stole money from you, or whatever the story may be. At the end of the day, it's about doing those things consistently every single day, no matter what. Because when people ask me for advice, most people say, well, listen to some podcasts.
Yeah.
Maybe, read a couple books.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, start working out. Start training your mindset. See if you can do consistency. Be consistent every day. See if you can actually practice being consistent every single day. I don't care if there's a blizzard. I don't care if there's a tornado. I don't care if there's a natural disaster. My routine never changes. Ever.
When I get up in the morning and I go on the treadmill, I feel, oh my God, I'm going on the treadmill. I'm so tired. But I walk, and I'm walking and I'm reading a motivation, and I'm watching something. And I'm like, in the end, I'm so glad I did it. Why is it always after the fact? We are so glad. Why is it always after the fact? We're so glad, especially when we work out, especially when we empower our mind after we've done it, versus before we've done it. What do we need to have in place so that we have that motivation to do it daily?
That's the thing. You're not going to have that motivation every day. You have to put something in your mind. You have to be able to play tricks with your mind. There's thoughts that I think in my mind, like something very bad can happen to my family if I don't do this. Or, you know what, I'm going to lose everything I have if I don't get up. Or I'm going to disappoint someone who loves me and cares about me if I don't get up. You have to focus on something that really drives you. What drives you? What scares you?
Yeah.
What scares you? And for me, it's something bad could happen to my family. So I get up no matter what. I get up and I make it happen. And you know what? When you are done, you feel amazing. You feel accomplished, and you say to yourself, wow, I actually can do it. Because you know what I tell myself on days when I don't want to do it? I think back to the other days when I felt the same way I did at that moment, and I said I did it, so you could do it. And I said, I tell myself all the time, you want to be great? You want to be great, Josh York? You want to be better than every single other person in the world? You get up and do it. Yes. And that's what I do every single day. And that's why I am unstoppable. And some people might not like me because I come across with high energy. I'm extremely confident. I'm not cocky. I'm confident. And you know what? And if someone doesn't like it, that's okay, because I don't care. I focus on what's going to better myself, better my people, better my franchise partners. And, look, we change lives every day. Okay. Yeah. That's what we do. That's the business I'm in. And just on social media alone, believe it or not, I have gotten letters over the years of people that I personally helped. Some who literally were on the verge of committing suicide. Wow. And it's crazy to even think that by me just posting videos and sharing stories that I'm impacting so many people. Yes. But you know what? Good leaders will always create other good leaders. Yes. You lead by example, put it out there. But at the end of the day, focusing is the most important thing, and everything else will start falling in place.
That is so powerful. And it is so true. Like in anything that you're going to do, you've got to focus. I remember during the pandemic, 2020 into 2021, everybody else is freaking out, and people were just binge watching Netflix and all kind of craziness they were doing. My husband and I were out there looking to buy more property. We invested in 15 more properties in the pandemic. And everybody were like, how at the end of how? Because we weren't doing what everybody else was doing. We knew that this was an opportunity. So we're going out and we're going to buy property. We're going to buy your house if you sell it. We're out there and we're making it happen every single day. We're getting up and we're going out. We bought property without even seeing it because we just were so focused on increasing our property portfolio, increasing our bottom line. And you are so 100% correct. Focus. My word for focus is really all about decision. It's about decide. It's about the death of all other options. This is the option. That's it. There's no other option. You just got to get it done. And you're right. There are people that will love you for what you have shared with them today and every day. And there are others who will say what they want to say. But our job is not to focus on the ones that are not going to be touched by our story, our journey. It's to focus on the ones that are wanting us and that are needing us. What would you say, Josh, tell us, what would you say is, what was a trigger point for you in your own life? Was it because you were at your mom's house and then you were sort of, what do I need to do with my life? Was there a trigger point? Was there something someone said to you? Was it something that, perhaps you read? What was a trigger point for you while you're doing what you're doing now?
No one's really ever asked me that question, and
I usually ask very good questions.
It's a very good question. For me, look, I didn't have a great life growing up. A lot of people like to make excuses. I don't make excuses. I don't focus on that. Honestly, I wouldn't have changed my life because it made me into who I am today. But at the end of the day, for me, I like it's funny. Like now that I think back through like school and all just the times growing up, like I just see so many qualities of like a real driven person, and like you don't realize it, but if you pay attention and you think back to memories, you see there's lots of traits there. But for me, I think the real trigger point for me was, I'm in school, and I used to always, and I share this a lot, I used to always think like this person's trying to teach me and they're telling me they're going to make me successful. And one time I asked the professor this, I'll never forget. The whole class started laughing. I was being dead serious though. I said, excuse me, let me ask you a quick question. You're explaining to me that I'm taking this class and you're going to make me successful, correct? He says, yes, that's correct, Josh. I said, okay, well, how successful are you? How much money do you have in your bank account? I'd love to see your bank statements so I can understand them, because you only want to take, look, personally, and my wife hates when I say this because she's a teacher, but school is just so screwed up the way it's just so screwed up. It doesn't teach you anything. Like the first thing you should be learning about is how to build relationships. That's number one. You're learning all this crazy stuff in school. I understand why they do it, but it's not going to be effective in real life to be successful. You don't need to do all these crazy math classes, and you need the basics when it comes to math. But just in life in general, like there's so many things that are being missed that are so important. And I used to just sit there and say to myself, like I can do it so much better than like the majority of these people. And I just, people used to always tell me, oh, Josh, you have too much energy. You don't focus. You're always opening your mouth. First of all, a closed mouth never gets fed. That's number one. Number two, if you don't have energy, well, you're done. You are done. Because if you don't have energy and if you're not, motivating other people, you're never going to be able to build a team. And honestly, I was just never, like school didn't do it for me. Like I was not excited about it. It wasn't a passion of mine. And I love fitness. And the real trigger point for me was like, I can do something like this on my own. I could build my own brand. I could turn this into a worldwide company and be the largest in the world. And I know I can do it. And that was really for me, like what really hit with the point was just like, I used to just watch other people run businesses, whether I'd go into a local, shop and I'd see how they talk to their team members, well, they call them employees. I don't like to use that word, but my culture is incredible here. The team I have is incredible. We now have over 500 trainers throughout the world. It's pretty crazy saying that, because I started at my parents' dining room with nothing but a vision, which you need. If you don't have a vision, you're never going anywhere, and a laptop. And I had no money. So if you tell me you can't do it with money, you're crazy. I've done this bootstrap to this day, and I still own 100% of my company. I've never sold any equity in my company. I bootstrapped it to where we are today. It can be done, but it takes a large amount of having that mental, resilient mindset. The mindset is everything. And when you train yourself to be stronger mentally, you will overcome anything.
Oh, do you know what? That's a mic drop moment right there. That's a mic drop moment just right there. And I just love hearing people's, like, their heart behind the story, like their journey, where they came from, what they started with. Because for all of us, we have a reason why. We have a reason why. There's always a trigger point. There's something that someone said or something that somebody didn't say or didn't do that made us feel, yes, we want to do this, or I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it work. And when you say that to yourself, you now have to do everything but possible to make it work. Now, I want to talk about that make it work attitude, make it work mindset, make it work decisions, tasks. What does that look like for you? Because with me, with property and stuff that I do, I make it work. Very different from what you're doing. How do you make it work?
I would rather die than quit. And there is always a way to make it work. I can't tell you how many stories over the years of issues I've had with just having to make payroll. I suffered probably for 10 years with such severe cash flow issues. Every single pay period, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just knew it was going to happen. And it's funny, my accounting manager used to always literally say, I can never be you. I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm losing sleep at night. And I used to tell her all the time, I never lose sleep, ever. I never lose sleep. I just know it's going to be fine. There's always a way to figure it out. So how do you make it work? You do whatever you have to do to make it work. Very simple. I don't watch TV. I've never even watched Netflix before. People laugh and be like, what? I don't even know how to get Netflix. I don't even know how to turn it on. I've never used it. I don't have time for that.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. And I'm not saying it's wrong if you want to sit there and watch shows all day, fine. But don't complain and say you don't have this or you want that. If you want to have things others don't have, you have to do things others won't do. It's very simple. This is not rocket science. This is a fact. And at the end of the day, I do things that others won't do, and I'm going to continue to have things others won't have. It's very simple. So no matter what, and the walls are closing in like you're in the movie, and those big spikes are coming to you, you figure out a way. There's always a way. But if it's on the weekend and you have a problem and you have to figure it out by Monday and you're sitting around watching TV, well, shame on you, because you're not going to make it work. You figure it out no matter what. I am the master at figuring it out. The master.
Listen, you're my brother, man. I love you. I love you. Lord, you're my brother. I love you. Because I am so much the same. I'm like, do it or die. Do it or die. Get it done regardless. That word regardless. Jim Rome talks about until. How long is until? Until it happens, until it gets done, until somebody says yes. Talk until, do it until, promote until.
It's so crazy. Sometimes people are so close, they don't even realize it, and then they quit. You were probably a day away, maybe a week away, but then they quit. And it happens all the time. Just don't ever quit. You're going to feel like quitting. You're going to feel like it's not working. You're going to feel confused. You're not going to know how it's going to happen, how you're going to get there. Just keep believing in your vision. Keep obsessing over that vision. Keep telling yourself every day you're going to be the greatest. Set goals, write them down every day. Repeat them out loud, memorize them, become sickly obsessed. You have to be obsessed. I am sickly obsessed. And when you have that obsession, you'll win.
Oh, you give me an idea there. You give me an idea there. You give me an idea there. You just give me an idea. Oh, listen, my God. I mean, I can understand why, because you're not just passionate about yourself and your business. You're passionate about people. You're passionate about helping others get to their level of success, especially through your franchise, network. Tell us before we close off, Josh, you've launched this Gym Guys brand and it's growing globally, and people are joining you obviously here in the UK as well, which is fantastic. If somebody is wanting to do what you've done, what would you say to them? First, second, third, fourth step they need to take?
First of all, if you're looking to start a fitness franchise, I would just honestly, and I'm not just saying, I'm being honest, I would just buy a franchise because we figured it out and it's going to make it a lot much easier. Because the majority of people, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, I'm just being very honest. The majority of people, no matter how motivated they are not going to be able to do it because it's very, 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 very hard. It's very, very hard. It's very hard. But if you want to do what I've done, you better give yourself a good, you see, like people say, you got to give yourself a decade. So I've been doing this 14 years, but I've only been franchising about 7. And it does take about a good 10 to 15 years, but everyone's journey is different. So maybe some will take shorter, some will take longer. It doesn't matter. But the problem is you want to be able to build reoccurring revenue, right? That's the number one thing. You want to build that. The reason I love franchising is as you grow, royalties grow, and you obviously have income coming in no matter what. And then you get to a point where you cover all your expenses. And then everything after that is just pure income. But it's very hard to get there. I always use the analogy. The first half for us was like taking a sumo wrestler from California to New York through quicksand. The second half is going to be a lot easier because we put the systems in place. We've figured things out. We've made the mistake. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes I've made. You have to be on such a level of being mentally tough. You don't even people don't even understand. Like most people don't even understand me. They're like, you're crazy. You're damn right I'm crazy. And I wouldn't change it at all because like I said, normal doesn't work. But my advice would be find someone who's done what you're trying to do. And reach out to that person. To this day, and I've been mentored by some of the best in the world, no one has ever told me no. And the reason I am where I am is because I always ask for help. I know where my strengths are. I know where they are and I focus on my strengths. I delegate my weaknesses and I always ask for help. I always put myself in rooms that I'm literally the stupidest person in the room. I put myself in the room with the smartest people in the world. And I also run a very successful podcast and I run it because it also helps me too. And it connects me with other people. And I've had the greatest entrepreneurs in the world on it. So at the end of the day, ask for help. Don't think you have all the answers. Be a sponge, absorb everything and focus. And that's how you get there.
Ooh, guys, if you forget all the rest, just that right there. You should just listen. So now then, Josh, if people want to reach you, they're like, okay, fine. I heard him. Let me look into the franchise opportunity. I will learn. How can they get in touch with you and or the franchise? How do they get started? What are the first, second, and third steps?
Well, if you're looking to find me, you just go on Google and type in handsome, and I come up. I'm like on every single page. All right. Now, you could just type in Gym Guys. Okay. If you want to find out about the UK, you go to gymguys.co.uk, or you can just type in Gym UK on Google. If you want to learn about franchising, click the franchising tab. You want to find out more about me, joshyorkgg.com. But at the end of the day, my last piece that I just want to say is just don't quit. That's it. Just don't quit. That's it. That's really what it comes down to. Just never quitting, because everything else, it doesn't matter, because you're going to have all the problems. You're going to have all the headaches. Just don't quit. And you will continue to do big things.
About those words, just don't quit. It's not just $1 million, but $1 billion statement. Just don't quit, because every single entrepreneur, business owner, millionaire, billionaire have all felt to quit, because it's hard to build anything that is of substantial value. It's hard to go through the problems, the mess, but someone's got to do it. And why not you? It's not just about being rich. It's about being able to to make a difference in people's lives. That's where it all boils down to. So yeah, thank you so much, Josh. My God, I've taken notes, and I'm just gonna look, guys, let me tell you now, this is your opportunity here. Okay, for those of you that are listening, thinking, oh my God, this is really good. These are some of the tips that Josh said. Do hard things. It's not easy. Be patient with results. Oh, I love that. Impact with action. That's what he's talking about. Believing in yourself. The simple rules is forget about the naysayers, the whiners, the moaners, the complainers, and just get on with it. Develop that mindset, that energy for success. Be comfortable with be uncomfortable with being comfortable. The hardest thing with success is just focus. Just says focus, getting up, getting it done, getting up, doing it, asking for help. Some people don't like to ask for help. That's what he says. A closed mouth never gets fed. Well, I love that. So do whatever it takes. And if you are serious, you're hearing, and you're like, you know what? I think I need to reach out to Josh. I probably need to get one of these franchises. I probably just need to get a gym guy at my house. I need one. I told him already before the call. You need to get in touch. Go to gymguys.com.co.uk, or just Google Josh and find him all over social media. Joshua, go and find him. Go and find Gym Guys and get it done. And the last thing I want to say, and I want to reiterate what Josh says, don't quit. This is your moment to live like a champion. This is Camilita here from the Camilita podcast saying I'll see you soon. And I will see you